Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and in today's video we're going to do a little bit of a behind the scenes free ball video talking about builder ranking systems. So this video is directed towards Discord members definitely, but anyone watching who's interested in the community and the system or interested in joining Discord, maybe you want to know how the builder system actually works. So we're going to talk about it here today, guys. So we have our 7 different ranks here. You progress through them based off of your skill level and how good your workshop is. So you might have 500 hours, 1,000 hours on Planet Coaster, but if you've never uploaded anything to your workshop, you're technically still a new builder. So it really is dependent on your workshop, and I'm going to show you guys how you can basically become a master. So if you're a Discord member that is struggling through the ranking system or curious where you are in the ranking system and how to improve, I think you're going to find the information in this video very valuable. So before I go to my workshop and show you guys examples of what these ranks would look like on my workshop, let's break them down. So if you're brand new to Planet Coaster and you only have maybe no items on your workshop or 1 to 2 items or tons of items at low quality, then you're probably going to get assigned beginner. Plain unthemed coasters won't help you expand beyond your builder rank. The way this works is if you just make coasters that are unthemed, we can't really base your rank because this is a creative artistic rank. We base your rank off of the artwork done. You might be an awesome realistic coaster designer, but we can't give a special rank for that because then that means we'd have to ride every single one of your coasters and evaluate them. So we can evaluate screenshots and art much easier. So that's the reason we don't really look at unthemed coasters. So it all comes down to the artwork on your workshop, and that's pretty much it. So if you don't have anything, you could have 1,000 hours on Planet Coaster, but if you haven't uploaded to your workshop, then you're still a beginner for 1,000 hours in. So to get builder, guys, it's pretty darn easy. All you have to do is have at least a few good quality items on your workshop and have shown an understanding of building in Planet Coaster. You could do this in a day. Just figure out what style you like, make 3 Western buildings, make sure they have polish on them, good detail. It could be tiny little restaurants. There you go. You're a builder. It's pretty quick. Advanced, it's going to be more of that. I updated this, guys, so you can kind of get an understanding. We want at least 1 page of good quality items and display those items with strong thumbnails and screenshots. I see a lot of people taking screenshots from a distance. I can't even tell what it is. You want that shelf appeal to look amazing. You don't want pictures of the dirt and the ground and all this stuff. We don't want to see work in progress thumbnails. We want to see what we're looking at as soon as we go to your workshop. And then I click it and I see more screenshots. Now if you got a page and a page is only 9 items, 3 rows of 3, that should be enough to be advanced. But if you have all these small things in there, little flags, or I made a bench, or I made a garbage can, those aren't exactly good quality items. Those are fluff. So I want to see at least a page of good quality items. I highly recommend removing fluff from your workshop, and we'll talk about that later when I show you guys mine. But essentially, you can have the fluff on your computer, but not on your online workshop, so you still have access to your little things that you've built. I see a lot of people uploading rocks and benches and weird things that honestly won't get that many downloads, and they're just kind of getting in the way of the good stuff on your workshop. So if you just have 9 items that are all really nice looking Western buildings or sci-fi buildings, boom, you're advanced. Now obviously the quality of those items is to be determined by us. Me and the hot dog squad will look through those items and determine whether we think that they are advanced or not. And looking at our experts, I updated this to say we want to have at least 3 pages of outstanding quality items, exception for less if masterful quality. And I'm going to use JR Tinman as a perfect example of that. I think he's got like 4 things on his workshop, maybe 5, but they are absolutely mind-blowing and show immense levels of masterful skill. He is absolutely amazing at this game, and he's shown that with a very little amount of stuff, but those things have a ton of detail and hundreds of hours of effort gone into them. So we have an exception if you are somebody extraordinarily different, but we generally want to see a lot of outstanding items with amazing thumbnails, lots of screenshots, all which show a deeper understanding of various techniques and styles of building in Planet Coaster. So if you have 3 pages of Western, then it gets a little bit tricky because it shows us that you're a one-trick pony. One-trick ponies are not experts. We want to see some variety from you. And moving on to Master, guys, guys, you have a large and varied workshop with many masterful quality items, many pages, which showcases your art, skill, and imagination. So we definitely, for master builders, we want to see creativity plus polish. We want variety. So it's expert with more pages, but also more imagination. If you're able to hit expert and you keep that 3-page rule going up, I honestly believe if you're releasing outstanding quality items and you do an extra 3 pages or an extra 2 pages, you could easily get to master. Some of our masters are good at one thing and they don't build coasters at all. Some of our masters only make coasters. Some people only make shops. You can have a certain niche, but we still want to see variation within that. Are you doing different styles of coasters? Are you doing different themes of shops? That sort of thing. And moving on to our legend rank, this is absolutely an extraordinary rank. You've blown us away with all amazing creations and a respected member among our Discord. This is just Master Plus. Once you have become a master and then you continue to be a master and you continue to stay involved and you continue to evolve, soon you become an undeniable legend in the community. And oddly enough, most of our masters are now legends, and I honestly think there are more legends than masters. So there is this kind of threshold where once you become a master, as long as you continue to play the game, you soon pretty much become a legend, as long as you keep evolving a little bit. It's usually the case that a master is so dedicated to the game that they got to this point where they're soon going to naturally just progress to this point. And some people, they get to expert and maybe they're just not playing as much as they could have. They hit that kind of 3-page limit, but they're not really pushing to become master. They're not doing new innovative things. They're not trying to increase the amount of detail they put in their work, or they're just not uploading more pages of quality items. Some people grow stagnant in some of these ranks and kind of stay there, and most people that become masters are naturally, again, just going to become legends soon after. So that's kind of why we're seeing the master rank being a little bit smaller and the experts and legends being a little bit larger, because this seems to be almost a bridging rank at this point. And moving on to our pioneer rank, a legend must prestige 10 times to become a pioneer. A prestige star is given after either winning a contest or placing in the top 5, I gotta update that, of the top 10 coasters of the month. So if you get in the top 5 of the top 10 coasters, you get a prestige star so long as you're a legend. And then if you win a contest, a first place contest as a legend, you will also receive a prestige star. I will hopefully, I don't want to promise this, but I will be trying to go back to all the contests where we lumped the legends, masters, and experts together, and say if you were an expert that beat the masters and legends in that bracket and eventually you became a legend, well, technically you deserve a star because you did beat legends in their category at one point. So I'm trying to say is I'm gonna try to go in and look at all of our contests and document who won what, so that we can kind of make your stars backwards compatible. We can reward you for accomplishments in the heavyweight bracket based off of previous contests. I'm going to try to do that to make it a little bit easier, because if you are an expert right now or a master and you blow away the competition in the heavyweight bracket of a contest, technically you should have earned a prestige star to your soon to be earned legend rank. You'll earn the star, but it's not applied yet. So I want to incorporate that sort of a system to make it a little bit easier for us to get to pioneer. And I'm also probably going to change this to champion, Planet Coaster Champion, because it is a rank that is earned by competing, and then you basically become the champion of the arena. So I think I'm going to make an update to that in the future, but right now we have 2 legends at prestige 4, and I think if I went back and did those things, we might have a bit more. So just something fun for you guys to continue progressing forward, like an RPG that has a sort of Paragon system. You can continue to level up once you've hit the highest rank, and that's the whole idea behind the Pioneer/Champion system. So very fun. Other ways you guys can level up: every time you compete in a contest, at the end of the contest, I review everybody's workshops. all of them. So I go and see what you've done since the contest, what you've done before the contest, and what you did for that contest. And I decide whether you've done enough, and maybe you have this nice, you were a builder, and now you have one good page of items, you won in the contest. Yes, you definitely deserve to be advanced now. I'll make those judgment calls for everyone competing in the contests. So that's why we see a ton of rank ups and level ups at the end of every results video. Now this I'm probably going to have to change because I don't really promote people in videos anymore. And I might change my mind on this in the future. Like if I see something absolutely amazing from a beginner builder that's just undeniably master builder quality, probably going to rank them up. But I tend to forget to actually apply the promotion once the video has been released because I have to do it like later on. So sometimes I forget to do it. This might not be the best way to get it anymore, but we have the apply for a workshop review. So you can come into Discord. It's in the announcement channel and it's also in this form. And once you're in here, you read the document, which we just looked at, put your email in, your Discord name, a link to your workshop, and then type in your current rank. I will get the review form, look at your workshop, and I'm going to do this every month with the Hot Dog Squad. We'll look at everybody who's filled out the form and decide whether they deserve a promotion or not. So last but not least, guys, before we end off the video, I'm going to show you how to basically become a master builder. So when I first started playing Planet Coaster, I played, I guess it doesn't show my beta items. My very first shop was kind of crappy. Just learning the game, playing around. I just made a customizable shop so you can color it, and it's basically a shop skin. And I was like, okay, well, what happens if I fancy that up? And I turned it into a Chief Beef shop. It's not the best. It's honestly basically just a decorative box. But what I was trying to get, that was honestly my purpose. I wanted to make a box and see how many pieces I could use to decorate it to give it detail. We got a little satellite dish, got some sci-fi pipes, a Chief Beef, a big grill, busted pipes out the side, little sign here, sign, little vents. I mean, it's covered in details using all the different sci-fi pieces. So that's actually, you know, quite important that I was focusing on detail early, even on just a box. Definitely not my proudest of work, but seems like people liked it because it got 6,500 subscribers. So not too bad, right? Let's ignore that page and just look at this one for an example. After I got the feel for building, I started coming up with ideas and I decided, hey, I'm just going to go for sci-fi because I guess to hark back to my original creation here, this was something that was actually in Shops and Drops scenario. I was playing through career mode and I was looking at their buildings and I tried to make one similar to theirs. And I wanted to beat that scenario, but there wasn't enough shops that come with the game. So that's where I decided I'm going to start making my own. Basically, I started making these shops for the Shops and Drops scenario, and everything was supposed to be cohesive sci-fi. And I just got on this like rhythm of making sci-fi, even though I wasn't that interested in sci-fi. So my first concept here was a bathroom shop. And I thought I could use all these little toxic pools. I just looked through the items in the game and go, can I come up with an idea for that? So I saw these little toxic pools, and I decided to put all this together and make it toxic relief. And it's basically a waste removal plant, and it's small, it's quaint, it's got 2 bathrooms and a bunch of animatronics on it. Now the one important thing about this creation here, the thumbnail. You can see what you're looking at. They're like, oh, that's a cool looking sci-fi building. Go in there and there are, you know, 3/4 view, side view, back view, 3/4, top, complete top. We got night. You can take a look at the nighttime lighting, and you can actually basically do a 360 look at this building. I have nothing to hide. I can show you all the details. You get a good look at it from all angles, and you can be like, all right, I do want this in my park. There's nothing worse than you're zoomed into like one little piece or something on a coaster, and you can't get a good look at anything, and you're like, I don't want to download this just to find out whether I like it or not. So screenshots are definitely important, guys. And your thumbnail is your shelf appeal. If I go into a store and I just see white packages on the shelf and none of them are named or labeled, and they're all just a bunch of white bags of chips, I don't know the difference between barbecue and jalapeno. So I need to see what I'm buying. I need to see what I'm subscribing to. So think of it that way. You can see in this thumbnail, it's a giant T-Rex. All of a sudden you're like, what? And you click on it, and then you start seeing more and more screenshots. You're like, okay, try to find some good angles up close on the head. Again, have nothing to hide. You want to see all sides of it. I'll show you underneath it. I'll show you in front of it. I'm not afraid to show off my creation because I put a lot of detail in it. Sometimes when you don't have good screenshots, you get worried that maybe there's not much detail in it. So if you've put a lot of work into it, then you should put a lot of effort into your screenshots. If you don't put effort into your screenshots, I'm going to assume you didn't put effort into your creation. That's the trick to getting a whole bunch of subscribers and ratings. So, and also creating something interesting that people would be likely to download. So this is a Gulpy is a T-Rex in the game, and it is a Gulpy shop. So that was kind of like my thought. I was like, what kind of how do I make a building seem like a T-Rex? I was like, why don't I just make a T-Rex? So that's where this idea came from. So I'm always trying to think creatively. But the interesting thing is, guys, this I made probably my first day out playing the game. I built this, and then this. The next day of playing the game, I built the T-Rex and the helmet. So that was 2 days, basically, yeah, 2 days to build these items down here. That's 3 items. That will get you your builder rank. If they're this quality, 100% that'll get you your builder rank. You're showing me that you know how to build things with sci-fi pieces and come up with a cool design. And it's a shop. People want bathrooms in their parks. People make sci-fi parks. And this guy here is it's a helmet, and it's a hat's fantastic. So it's a suitable design, kind of like a Halo helmet. And again, all screenshots of all angles as well as night and day. So there you go. You can see it's a hat's fantastic shop. Again, pretty good subscribers, good ratings, cohesive. I'm keeping my themes cohesive. So I'm showing I know how to build sci-fi for sure, and I continue that theme going forward. Now I'm deciding, okay, let's make some hot dog squads, make a big grill with hot dogs, mustard pumps, ketchup pumps. What kind of crazy things can I do to spice this up? All about the details again. Putting little cranes and shipping bins and scaffold and pipes, and it doesn't necessarily have to make sense, but it has to be believable. Just things along the back. Put touches of realism, dumpsters, AC units, catch-up pumps, employee doors, little lights, some computers, pumps and things, and there you go. It seems like it's a cool, believable, fun shop with a hot dog theme going on here. It's a decent hot dog squad building, and it kind of matches some of my other buildings. I get that art style down and I get a feel for it, and I go, what if I make things a little bit more white and add some pink and then put some different flavors in, chocolate, banana, and strawberry? I could turn this into a cosmic cow factory. What kind of things can I use for milk churning bins? So I come up with these milk cartridge things, and they have AC units to keep them cool, bins, all that stuff. Nice little quaint shop, and people do like compact little buildings that are easy to use. I think that's why my items have seen so many downloads, because it's just plug and play. Drop it down, connect your path, and it fits in any sci-fi park. It also helps that it looks good next to this one or this one. So they match. They have a theme. I basically reuse a lot of the pieces, the styles along the backs and the fronts and the tops, the pumps again. I reuse, but I change the shape of the building, change the designs, maybe add a little, add a little thing of fries on there being held up by a little claw. Try to keep it sci-fi. But yeah, generally all the elements are the same. The backside realism's still the same. Maybe add an extra dumpster, remove one, change up a couple things. The layout's different, take a chunk out here, but for the most part it's same design, different layout, new elements, maybe different colors here and there. So I just continue running that, make it even bigger, do a chief beef. It's just a bigger version of the hot dog one, and you just keep pushing that art style, but it's pretty much the same stuff reused in different ways. Maybe I should come up with something more unique, I'm thinking. And this is a garden. It has a nice little garden on the inside, and it's a tiki chiki and mexilente, and I had the idea of it's like a hydroponics place. So you have a garden on the inside, and that was me trying something new. So while I'm doing sci-fi, I do want to try and incorporate garden work. So I tried something different on this guy to try and switch up my style, and I'm using different pieces this time, trying to get familiar with some of the other sci-fi pieces as well as some of the glass and modern pieces included in the pack. I've done a few standard buildings like this, and I'll be honest, like this was, like I said, these first 2 buildings were a day. These were a day. I think I made all 3 of these in a day, and then I made these 2 in a day, and then one day I was like, okay, probably 5 days into playing the game now, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make something completely different. Getting bored of making these boxy buildings reusing the pieces. So I look at images of rockets online, and I tried to make a Foxy rocket and make it kind of believable in the sense that these are your burners, and then it detaches, deploys, and these guys detach when they lift off. I don't really know rocket science, but I know enough or seen, you can watch a YouTube video and you can see how it works. So I just made all the components and the launch bay, and they sell coffee here. That's the idea. They come in here, buy some coffee, and it's a unique idea for Street Fox Coffee, and it got me away from doing these kind of similar style buildings as something going back to kind of like the T-Rex, something unique and different, while also staying within the sci-fi genre. So looking at all this, 9 cohesive items with good ratings, good screenshots, good thumbnails. Boom. That's how you get Advanced Builder. I built these 1 day, 2 days, 3, 4, 5. Take you a week. If you could build one item like this quality and then you do that every day, you can become an advanced builder in a week. 1 page of high quality items with good thumbnails and screenshots. Boom. That's all it requires. Moving on, I tried to diversify myself a bit while also continuing to expand on this sci-fi universe. The med bay. So I built, tried to use the colors differently, take a little bit less heavy approach on the sci-fi and incorporate more of the vinyl plastic and the soft plastic and colors, and then put a helipad in there and turn it into a med bay. So this is where people go to throw up, essentially, but still sticking within the style that I use. You get bored of making buildings and I go, okay, I gotta make a Johnny 5 Alive robot because that's who I am, and that's where I got my name, is Short Circuit. So I tried doing like a sculpture, and that was playing around with basic shapes, and this shows off how my ability to use basic shapes while also still remaining sci-fi. But it's a different skill set. And then I was like, well, you know, Wally's like the new Johnny 5, so I have to make Wally now. Again, this is my use of basic shapes while also continuing to expand my shops. So this was just a memento, this was balloons, and then I'm like, okay, those were exhausting. They took a while. I think both of them together took me a day, and then I went back to making shops, and I started getting the idea of, why don't I do a large shop and then like a medium and a small. So people, if they're building parks, they want sci-fi, they have different sizes and shapes to use on their parks. And even this little tiny guy here, it's a 1x1 cube shop, but you can still see I have details. I got little lights, panels, panel in here, hanger top in here, Street Fox sign, little trims around the outside. I put trims on all the different corners and the fronts, and then I put a coffee cup in there, a little burner, some coffee juice. I mean, put as many details as I possibly can. Steam and a vent in the back. Literally try to cover this thing with details without overburdening it while also keeping it kind of quaint. So it just goes to show that you can make something literally 1 cube wide in dimension and it still ends up getting 8,000 downloads. And this was before, like, when I just started off. So I mean, these 2 pages of items got me to about, I don't know, 1,000 followers, and then I started making YouTube videos. So this was before I even started making YouTube video, guys. If you go to my channel, to my earliest Planet Coaster videos, they're just me like rotating a camera around these items, panning a camera, and I'm like, that's my first Planet Coaster video. I was just making these things and I guess just showing them in a little video. These are the videos, actually. I could show them. They're literally like a minute long. I show off the item and say Channel 5 Gaming, say how many objects it was, and I just rotate a camera around it. And I was literally just making this video just so I could put it in here on Steam so people could get a better look at it. Even though I've supplied them all the images they need. So I went a little bit overboard on my presentations on these ones, and I was just trying to get comfortable uploading some videos and things like that. And yeah, so these videos were terrible. They were my first ones ever. They didn't get that many views, but it's what started me on Planet Coaster. So yeah, moving on, I decided to do more you know, statues and different things, because from there I wanted to evolve my styles. What can I do to make the shops even better? And you can see me taking things to the next level since the last parlor shop. I want to make a bigger one. How do I, you know, more planters, have a mascot or a sculpture, and just have an interior, and I'm expanding on something. If I would have done this right off the bat, it wouldn't have turned out as good. It's because I practiced on these smaller ones that we're seeing over here. So it's all about building and getting comfortable with your building sets, and then learning how to evolve from there. And so if we look at this with that page, this page, and this page, boom, you're an expert builder. And all 3 of these pages I did within my first couple weeks of playing Planet Coaster. And eventually, you know, you play around with different things, and you do, eventually I started doing audio files and triggers in some of my blueprints, bigger interiors, more spacious, including mascots and entertainer points. Yeah, just trying to push that evolution of sci-fi to the next level. Now, here I am kind of a one-trick pony, so I start to try and branch away, and that's when I came up with things like Planet Gulpy. It's a little bit more modern, friendly, kind of like a quickie mart, and it still kind of has some of the sci-fi pieces that I'm comfortable with, but it plays more on the modern vibe than anything. So trying to stay within your comfort zone, but push out, slowly push out and expand to new things. And then there we go. We had the Christmas pack came out. This was a month after, and this is I did this for my 1,000 subscriber special, and I decided, you know, I'm gonna try something completely new. Gingerbread, play around with the really nice lighting, play around with the icing and the gingerbread, and I made a pretty decent looking gingerbread building, and it was outside of my comfort zone. Again, trying to get away from that one trick pony thing. Then I decided to go with big things. What if I do 2-part blueprints with tons of decorations? And that's when, you know, I'd try to just take it to the next level, make a shopping mall with a monorail built into it. Again, always trying to push the envelope. Obviously, I want to try new things, so I did a pirate thing here, a fantasy thing there, a mascot, and then again, here we have a modern building here with it's a Missy Goods cookie shop thing, or donuts. So slowly getting out of my comfort zone, and then I thought, okay, it's time to make a coaster after about a month or so of playing, and I decided to go with a Chief Beef modern theme and make it a dual synchronized racing coaster, and this was before dual synchronizing was in the game. So again, trying to give myself a challenge while also using some of the pieces that I'm comfortable with. This is the white vinyl plastic ones that I used on my sci-fi, but I've elevated them to be more Chief Beefy, but also did something more modern, less sci-fi, and somewhere in my comfort zone while also trying new challenges. It's all about kind of getting comfortable using something and always developing it and evolving it, and then, you know, trying a coaster was something new for me. From there, the rest is kind of this stuff I built over time, very spread out, far and few between, because I'm obviously busy making the videos and stuff. But up until this point here with the Chief Beef Raceway, I think when was this uploaded? Well, that was March. Okay, then when was this one? February, and this one was January. So let's go up to about here. That was just the end of December, basically, the January 2nd. So right up until here was basically just over a month of playing. Those 3 pages. These 3 pages are pretty good quality, all high stars, good thumbnails, tons of screenshots. They show some diversity while also being in the sci-fi realm. They do show diversity and knowledge about detail and skill within Planet Coaster. And as I said, if I know how to build a sci-fi thing with this well, moving over to something that's modern or even something that's fantasy, pirate, fantasy, modern, I can use the same skills that I've learned throughout sci-fi, my attention to detail, and apply that to a different theme quite easily. My ability to cross that knowledge over to something else it's seamless. So once you get, you know, 3-4 pages of something that you're really comfortable with, you will soon have those skills to apply to something else. Basically, that's how you become a master builder in a month, guys. Just start small and continue to beat on that theme. Continue to evolve it, continue to expand it, and try to stay making them cohesive. Try to make a collection out of it, and then eventually, you know, if you get bored of it, try something different and see how it goes. And maybe if it lacks polish or something, you can play with that a little bit further and expand it. I think a great example of this is Wix's workshop. For a long time, he was building nothing but cabins, and he kept evolving them. He seemed like a one-trick pony. Then he moved over onto something else, and boom, it's like, wow, he's really good at this theme. He's never tried it, because he's spent so much time doing attention to detail on his cabins that he knew how to have attention to detail moving on to any other theme. And now he just continues to go through the themes, and he's expanded his workshop to 30-40 pages, and he's definitely a legend at this point. But he doesn't build coasters, he doesn't make that many parks. He basically just makes blueprints, scenery, and shops. That's it. And he still became a legend based off of that, but it's his niche. Some people just make coasters like Riddler, and he's definitely a legend. I personally like to just do shops, but I did a go-kart, I did a couple coasters in here, I did a boomerang, I did Yeti Land scenario, which I kind of need to update still, one day maybe. I guess that project kind of died out on me. I did a park here as well, but my niche now, guys, is making these contests, these videos, these spotlights, running the community, and all that stuff. So I still have a creative outlet. I get to be creative when coming up with these video ideas, thumbnails, contests, and keeping everything in order. So I still have a ton of creativity throughout my daily life and my week-to-week life. It just doesn't happen to be channeled into my workshop anymore. Hopefully, you know, you guys are less busy than me, and if you are enjoying the game, you can kind of channel your creativity into your workshops, and these this process that I went through is what I would continue to do if I was playing the game daily instead of making videos. So if you guys kind of follow suit of everything I explained here, you can honestly become a master builder within a month. Now I'm going to be, maybe I'm being a little bit ambitious with that saying. I do have a huge art background. I've been doing art since I was 5 years old, and I've worked in game art for the game industry. So going in, I think I had a creative edge and a design edge and a know-how of how things should look, how to take screenshots. I think that's a whole nother episode in itself, looking at compositions and how to fit things in the screen properly and what to zoom in on during your screenshots. But yeah, generally I'd say my art knowledge has helped me get there. But I can see a lot of people in this community who show a lot of potential. They make a good building or something, or they make a couple good buildings, and then they kind of try something completely left field and lose focus and get frustrated. I think it's good to just find something you're comfortable with and build that up and learn how to evolve the detail until you start coming up with new creative ideas. So there you go, guys. A little bit ranty, but I think, my 7 pages is definitely more than enough to show you what a master quality rank should look like. And again, just to kind of recap, if you're brand new to the game and this was not my workshop, or I was coming in here, I'm like, who's this Channel 5 gaming guy? Let's give him a rank. If all I had was these 3, I'd give him builder. If all I had was these 9, I'd give him advanced, based off the quality of those thumbnails, the quality of the screenshots, and the attention to detail on all the buildings. And then if I saw 2 or 3 pages like this, I'd go, okay, he's expert. And then all of a sudden I see, oh, he's done some coasters. Oh, he's done some different variations of things. Oh, he makes statues. Oh, he did a park. Oh, he did a go-kart. And, and as soon as I start seeing that variety and some different things in there, that's when I go, oh, this guy's definitely a master. And boom. So there you go, guys. I think that's a pretty in-depth explanation. And I did want to bring it up and go into detail and make this video because we have that workshop review form in Discord, and I feel like a lot of people filled it out, and they only have 3 things on their workshop. And I keep scratching my head going, oh boy, I feel like I'm denying all these workshop requests. But at the same time, I'm going, everybody here is like really focused for maybe 40 hours throughout, 2 weeks, an hour a day, 2 hours a day. I think everybody here it's stuck in either new or builder, they could quickly be where they think they should be, or where they want to be. They just need to upload that consistency, and if you really sit down, you can build one of these shops in 4 hours, and if it's the weekend, you can crank out 2 of these a day. You could get those ranks really quickly. So there you go, guys. That's a long video. That's a lot of talking. I hope it was helpful. Hope that clarifies it for you guys. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you found that information helpful and you enjoy the community, please consider becoming a patron, as it really does help to keep the show go on, as well as all the contests and events that I have to create. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.